Hi guys, Colin here from computerclasses.ie and Courses.ie. So guys, every year I try to do an iMovie tutorial in where we look at the latest versions and just try to get a step-by-step guide so that you can get them small video clips, pictures and wee bits of music, stitch them all together and create a simple movie. Now we're not going to create a masterpiece, what we're going to do is just look at the fundamentals of video editing to try and get it in as quick a time as possible. There is a full course on this. I'll put a link in the description below if you do want to delve deeper into it. And if there is anything in particular that you would like to cover, don't be afraid just to comment below the video. I always get back to people in the comments. And if this is the first time you've looked at one of my tutorials, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me, and give that video a like. Okay, so we'll delve into iMovie now and see what it's like. Okay. So what we'll do first of all is on the screen here, we're just going to go down, we're going to go to iMovie and open it up. Now if you have a Mac, it will more than likely be installed on your Mac already, but if not, you can just go to the App Store, just type in iMovie and it's a simple step-by-step thing. So we'll open up iMovie. Now I've just downloaded today I've downloaded a new fresh version of it, so you can see it's coming up and asking me what's new in iMovie, or it's telling me what's new. So it's optimized for the latest Apple MacBooks. They've updated iOS support, new backgrounds and so on. So you take your time, do have a wee read through them. We're just going to click on continue here. So you can see here we're in our projects. What we're going to do first of all is, like I said earlier, we're going to just try and get this in as quick as possible. We're not going to try to create a masterpiece or a Hollywood blockbuster. But what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to put a video clip in, how to put a title in, how to maybe put a transition in, and how to look at the timeline. If you can put in one video, you can put in 10. So there's no point in us sitting here looking at it. So this is more about video editing and not movie making. So we're not going to movie make. We're just going to learn the fundamentals, the wee simple things. Okay, so we're going to click on Create New. Once we click on Create New, it asks us if we want to create a movie or a trailer. So we're going to create a movie. So you can see it's telling us here, a movie, what it does is it combines videos, photos and music to make your own movie. And a trailer then, it allows you to follow a template. So Apple have created these trailers and they have sections in it and they say put a video of this in, put a video of that in. It tells you the type of video that it expects to go in. So what you do is you follow Apple's template. They have music pre-prepared in the background and all, and you just stitch in your videos where you want. I will do one of them in a later video, but for this one we're just going to focus on movie. So it's just going to be where we create our own movie. We have our own movie clips. I'm going to use movie clips here, and what I'll do is I'll put a link in the description of the video that you can click on the link and you can go and get the same video clips as I'm using here. There are video clips that I took while on holidays a couple of years ago. They're 1080p, which means they're 1080 HD. They're not 4K. Dealing with 4K stuff on 1080, it's all the same. Okay, so you can use them. They're copyright free, so don't be afraid to use them. And it just means that you can follow along with what I'm doing and maybe use similar clips. But by all means, for this, use your own videos. Once you have some sort of video clips there, it's perfect. So first things first, we're going to have a quick tour of iMovie. Just have a look around the window to familiarize ourselves with everything that's here. Over on the left hand side, you can see here, I'm just going to zoom in and out of the different areas so you can see it. So we've our project media, so that's the movie that we're currently working on. So you can see it's coming up with today's date there. Then we have our libraries. Now we're not going to go into too much detail. Like I said, there is a full course for this. We're just going to familiarize where things are. So this is where any movies or anything, any events that we're going to create are going to be labeled right down along the left hand side there. There will be. So as we work on movies, so remember, this is the first movie that we're working on iMovie in this current laptop or MacBook here, so it's pretty blank, so there's not going to be any. As you do your projects, there's going to be more projects listed down along that left hand side there. So down below where it says iMovie library, you will have your movies named there. Okay, across the top now, we will go through this at the time. So my media, so you can see we've nothing selected here. So if I go into my iMovie library, there's no media in here, and it's giving me the option to import media. We're going to do that in a second. Audio then will show me any audio that is on the MacBook that we have. So any music, any clips, and iMovie has their clips there too. We have titles, and again we'll put a title in. So titles is going to allow us to put titles and put text across our movie. any backgrounds that we have. So the backgrounds are all there. So Apple earlier said that it had 16 new backgrounds. So you can see down through it, there's new backgrounds there. So these are just backgrounds that allow you to be able to put it in. We might get a look at these tonight. If not, I will do a video specifically on backgrounds. Transitions then, we'll talk later on about transitions. Transitions are whenever you have one video clip and you want to move to the other video clip. It's how it moves from one to the other. So instead of one coming and the other one going. So transitions. So we will look at them later on. On the right hand side, I'm going to zoom in again just to give you a wee preview of it. So you can see here we have our preview window. Now the preview window is where you're going to be able to see what your movie looks like. Now don't worry. Obviously depending on the MacBook that you're using, and if you're using 1080 footage, so footage may be shot on an older camera or an iPhone just with the settings a bit lower, or if you're using 4K video, sometimes the preview that you see in that window might appear to be a wee bit choppy. And what I mean by choppy is it might look as if maybe the sound isn't right on the video, or if it's a wee bit blurry, or if it's going not looking as smooth as it was when you took it on the camera. Don't worry about that. iMovie, when you're creating your movie, iMovie is rendering in the background. So what rendering means is it's just getting ready for that final export when you're ready to put the finished version of the video out. So it's trying to get the bulk of the work done in the background so that when you hit save or finish, it has maybe 60% of its work done. So it's just working away in the background. It makes the videos choppy. Sometimes it mightn't happen. It obviously all depends on the spec of the computer and the quality of the footage that you're using. Okay, so this is it. As we go through and start putting in the video, we'll have a look back at that window. The other options then, so we have these adjustment options up here at the top. So there's different ones, like we can brighten videos up, we can correct the color, we can crop, we can stabilize video, we can tinker with the volume, remove noise. This is the speed, we can maybe slow motion or put it down. We have filters then, and then we have information about the clips, okay? Now we probably won't get looking at too many of them tonight. This isn't about that. It's not about doing the fine tuning or things. This is just about getting a video started. So this is your entry-level step-by-step guide. So if you have previously been video editing, or if you have used iMovie in the past and you're comfortable with it, this probably isn't the video for you. This is for someone who's maybe trying to learn that wee bit more, trying to get that wee bit of speed, or someone who's just starting off. It's perfect for, okay? Then when we go back out, so I'm just going to zoom back out for you, we have our timeline down along the bottom here. So it runs right along the bottom here, our timeline. So you can see where I'm shaking the mouse right along the bottom. The timeline is where we are going to drag and drop our movie or our video clips. So once we start putting it down, think of this as a video editor's table. And what we're going to do is we're going to get a clip of this video and a clip of that video, and we're going to lay them all out side by side in the order that we want them to appear. This is your playhead. Okay, I'm going to zoom in just so you can see it that wee bit better. So I know it's quite hard. Some of you might be watching on phones or iPads. So you can see we have our playhead here. And the important thing I want to point out to you here is this arrow that's pointing down. So the arrow that's pointing down is what's called bird's eye view. Now, not many people will call it that, but I like to call it that when I'm teaching. So it's a bird's eye view. So you're looking straight down on top of the videos that we're going to put. So the preview window over on the right hand side plays whatever it can see directly below it. That's why I call it the bird's eye view. As we start putting videos in, this will all become more clear. Okay, so why don't we jump straight in? So that's iMovie's window, so there's not that much more to it. Okay, it's pretty simple application. All video editing applications are similar, and what I mean by that is, so you may have heard of people maybe using Final Cut Pro or DaVinci Resolve or Adobe Premiere Pro. So they're just scaled up versions of iMovie. They're scaled up versions of video editors, but the principles behind video editing is all the exact same. You will always have an area where your media is. So I'm just after clicking back in the My Media. So you'll always have an area for your media, and that's known as, it could be called, different programs will call it different things, but maybe it could be your clip bin, your media area, My Media as it's called here. But it's where the videos that you take or the videos that you're using to compile for your movie, it's where they're going to rest before you start putting them in. There'll always be a preview window, so where you're going to preview your window, and then there'll always be a timeline down along the bottom. Now, each program or each application will differ in the way you do things, but the fundamental things of video editing are always going to remain the same. You're going to import the clips and the media that you have. So the media is going to be your video clips, your music, your pictures, anything like that. You're going to import them into the program and they will go into your clip bin. Then you're going to select the movies or the clips that you have, and you're going to drag them down and you're going to place them on the timeline. That doesn't change. The preview is going to remain the same. The only difference is then when you come to do the other things like fine tuning it or color correction or green screen things, that type of thing, you are going to get more complex tasks. But video editing as a whole is very simple, and the way we're laying it out here. So what we're going to do is we're going to import media. I'm going to import the media. Now, by all means, your media could be on a SD card, a USB. It could be on your computer. It could be in your Photos application. It could be on your iPhone or whatever it is. So once we go to import media, it's going to ask me where is the media that we're doing. Now, I have placed my media. I've just put it on the desktop. You may have seen it at the start. I've just placed it in a folder there, and I'm going to click on desktop. Now, if you plug in a USB or if you have anything else there, you would see it laid down along the left hand side here. So depending what it is, you would see it. So if you plug in a USB, I don't have any sitting in front of me here. If you plugged in a USB, it would appear here on the left hand side. If you plugged in an iPhone, it would appear on the left hand side, and so on. You can see this is my hard drive of my computer, the one that says Macintosh HD. This is my own home folder. Yours will have your name there, or a family member's name, or maybe a work profile, whatever it is. And then we have desktop. We should all have that desktop there. So you can see I have this iMovie folder. Now I'm going to take the full folder in there. I'm not going to even take them all. If I wanted to select them, I could click on the small arrow at the side of it. I'll just zoom in to show you. I could click at that small arrow at the side of it and select individual photographs, okay, or individual movies, and you can see it's letting me see a quick preview of what the video is there. Okay, so these are all videos I took while on holidays one year. I'm going to import the whole movie, so I'm going to put that back up. I'm just going to take the whole folder in, I'm going to click on it like that, and I'm just going to say import selected. So once I click import selected, you're going to see as soon as I import them. Now again, obviously depending on the quality of the movies, iMovie will try and determine what type of files they are. So what's in the files, is there people in them, is there things like that. You'll see like a small clock going round on them. Now it'll be very quick with these because this is a brand new MacBook and the files are only 1080 HD. So they're not massive files, they're small enough files, but you might see it. So we'll click on it. So you can see they all go in. Now here is the small clock. I'm going to zoom in on one of them. They're even gone that quick, so it put them in that quick. But you may be able to see, I'll try in post-production to go in and see it. You'll just see a small circle appearing on it. Now if your movie clips are 4K or if they're longer, you would see that circle appearing for longer. So usually the MacBooks get them straight away. They don't have to take that long analyzing them. And the fact that I have used these movies previously, they may still be somewhere in the background and they might just reference them. So you can see there's 29 videos or 30 videos. So these are just videos. These are pictures here. You can see, so they have a small picture or a camera icon on them. So it shows you that they're a picture. The movies are here further on up, and if we wanted we could go through and we could maybe have a look at the video. So if I go and see if I can have a video, so this video here, I just clicked on the space bar there, that automatically starts playing. So you can see it's just a video of two people walking past in the background, maybe the ones of cars coming up. So I'm just clicking on the video. What I'm doing is, so you may have a trackpad, and if you have a trackpad, I'm just moving one finger across the video there, and you can see in the preview it's showing me what's happening. Now that's called scrubbing, okay, and it's just you scrubbing across. Some video editing applications may play the sound too. iMovie doesn't. Okay, iMovie doesn't play the sound in the background, but some of them might. So if you do find yourself going on to use DaVinci Resolve or Adobe Premiere Pro or Final Cut Pro, you might hear when you scrub your finger across that you can hear that bit of background noise in it, but it's perfectly fine. That's just one of the features of the application. So you can see each video has there, it all gives you a wee timestamp to show you what videos they are or what length they are. So you could go through them, and you can do things like if you click on them, you can scrub through them and so on. You can right click them and you can favorite them. Okay, and if you right click or secondary click, a 2-finger click on the keyboard, or you can do a right click on a mouse. Okay, so you can favorite them. So this is where you could go through and, you know, disregard the videos that you don't want. Okay, get rid of them now, or maybe take the videos in that you do want by favoriting them. Okay, and you can see it puts that small green line at the top. I'll zoom in so you can see it. So you can see it puts a green line on the top. Once we use them, they'll then have like an orange or red line across the top to show that they have been used in your project. So it just saves you using the same movie twice. Okay, so we have our videos in. Now we're going to look at the timeline then. So what we're going to do with the timeline is we're going to see the first video. So the first video we're going to use is this video here. It's the video about the car. It's video number 2, just if anyone wants to follow along. But again, as I said, it doesn't matter what videos you have. Once you have videos and you're actually using them, it's perfectly fine. So we are going to put this video in. So this video, we want to put it in, and we'll just click where we want. So there's 2 ways of doing this. Okay, we can play the entire video, and the way we play and stop in video editing is the space bar on the keyboard. So we're going to learn a couple of shortcuts here now. So we have space bar for play and stop, and then we're going to have I and O. So the letter I and the letter O. So the letter I can be for in and the letter O for out. Okay, so once we play it, you would need to be watching your preview window here. So we press space bar and it starts playing. We can then press I, you can see it goes in, and O, it goes out. And once we do that, it gives us our in point and our out point. So it gives us our in point for I and our out point for O. Okay, so that's the way we do it. And you can see that I can scrub in and I can see that it's showing me the portion of the video that I selected. Okay, so that's how we would select the portion of the video. We can also click and drag across it, and this is the method that I would use more so clicking and dragging. So I'm going to just show you if I move into the second video. So I'm going to, with this one, I'm just going to click and I'm going to drag. Sometimes you might have to select, yeah, you do still in this version of iMovie. So the letter R on the keyboard, so R for Roger. People sometimes have trouble thinking, what am I saying? It's R for Roger, or R for range. Okay, so holding your finger down on the R key, and you can just then click and drag, and it'll allow you to select a portion. That's the way I tend to like to do it with iMovie. Some versions you may not have to hold down that R key, but in a good few of the latest versions you do. I have heard people saying to me in the past that that you don't have to do it, or they don't have to do it. It may depend on the MacBook, but you can try it by clicking and dragging. I tend to not use the I and the O. I always show people it because it is an option, and some people do like shortcuts I and O and spacebar, of course, to play, but you can select the videos. Okay, so we're ready to just start selecting these videos now. So we're going to go backwards now for a second. So we're going to take our first video in. I did say we'd put that car coming in, but we'll just take, this is a small village that's it's actually in Portugal. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take one of these videos in. It's a 4-second video. I'm going to take the whole video in. So I'm going to click on the video once. That selects the video. And then I'm just going to click and drag it down. Okay, you can press the plus there, but I think it's easier just to click and drag it down. So we just clicked and dragged it down until it gets to that timeline. Okay, and you see it goes in with what's called frames. Okay, now frames are down. I'm going to scroll into, you can see it. So these are frames, okay, video frames. And the longer you allow it to be on your timeline, the more frames you will see. It doesn't make the video last any longer on your screen. It just means you can see more of it on your timeline. So this slider that we have over at the right hand side here, so you can see we have this slide over and back. When I slide this over and back, you'll see what it does. It lengthens and shortens your timeline for you. The video still remains the same. It's 4.6 seconds. But if you drag it out to the right, it shows more of the frames of the video. And if you drag it to the left, it shows less of the frames of the video. So what happens is, if you wanted to fine tune or if you wanted to pick a certain point, it's easier if you have this slider all the way to the right, because you can do it. So at the minute, this is 4 seconds long. So you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and a bit. So obviously each frame there that we can see, or each square, is half a second. Whereas when we drag the slider over to the right hand side, you can see there's not even one square. So each frame then is 1 second or half a second then, okay? So it's even less. That's half a second there. So with the longer the video you have, the more frames you will see on it, okay? So I tend to leave it, I like to be able to see a bit more of my timeline. I like to leave it around the middle here, just that I can see maybe here. So you can see that each frame now is 2 seconds. So there's 2 seconds, 2 seconds, and roughly half. So it's 4.6 seconds. So it's not a big thing, but if you're video editing and if you do want to do any wee fine changes or fine print, you can slide it out to the right hand side. Okay, so we have our first video in. Now we want to put our second video in. So we just go to the video, and I'm just going to do this quickly. We're going to go to the second video that we want. I'm going to take this one with the car in, but I don't want the entire video in. I just want it, and I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. I'm just going to zoom in and show you what I'm doing. So you can see here with this one, we just want the car from maybe when it goes to here. Okay, so I'm going to hold my finger on R. I'm going to start dragging, and I'm going to click just until it gets to the roundabout there. So you can see it's about the same, about 4 seconds. Okay, so once we have that selected, so that's 2 ways of doing it. So we see now that we could click and drag a full video in, or a full video clip, or we can just select a portion by holding that R key. Now, once we click it, then we drag it down, and I find that's the easiest way to do that, clicking and dragging them down. There's people who will say to you, click on the plus button. So I'll just select that next video frame. Okay, we'll go through it again. Maybe this video here, it's a wee bit longer, it's 21 seconds. We'll put a portion of this in. We'll just put 10 seconds into it, okay? So there's 10 seconds. Once we have the video selected, we could make sure our playhead, so you just make sure your playhead is at the end of the video. We can click the plus that's on the bottom here, and it will put it down. But I find it's the same thing. I tend to like clicking and dragging down because I know where I'm putting it down. I don't have to worry about where the playhead is, but that's totally personal preference. Okay, continuing on then, I'm going to just put a couple of video clips in. I'm going to select just portions of them. I'm going to keep talking in the background just as I'm putting them in. You can see how quick you can throw them in once you're clicking and dragging. You're not... with the playhead and with putting it in, I find you have to make sure when you're clicking that plus button, I find you're constantly trying to show where your playhead is, and you have to worry. Whereas when you're clicking and dragging, it's just simple as keep clicking and dragging the whole lot down. That video's a wee bit long, so I'm not going to take that down. Now you, by all means, don't be afraid to have a look and be more precise than I am. I'm just throwing them in here. I'm just getting, so you can see you have about 44 seconds now of the video. If you did ever want to rearrange videos, so this is just a windsurfer going along. I just went on holidays one year, and I took videos because what I was having problems is using normal videos on YouTube, so sometimes copyright can be an issue. So it was easier for me just to go take my own videos, and then I could use them without having any issues with copyright. So it was easy, and I have no problem with people using them for practice. So that's what I say. Do go and have a look at the link that I'll put in the video here, and you can do it. Okay, I tend to always finish off with this. So as I said, it's a wee fishing village, Alvor. So I'm just going to bring this video in. It's 9 seconds or so, and we'll put it in. Now, so we have 1 minute and 5 seconds or so. Now, if you ever do want to rearrange the videos, you can see you can just click and drag them at the bottom there. It's okay, you can click and drag them. You can put them at the top. We might talk about why you would put them on top. But if you want to, you can just click and drag them and reorder the order that the videos are in. Again, if you wanted to, you could put it out. And you can see now it's easier to rearrange them, okay? Now, that's all the videos in. If you want to make a 1 minute video and a 2 hour video or a 2 hour movie, the procedure's the exact same. Okay, it's once you can put in one video, you can put them all in. So there's no point in you sitting watching me doing it. You would want to now go and practice with longer videos or different things, okay? But that's putting in videos, and that's how we do it. Now, we do want to talk about some of the things and the different areas that we have here. So the first thing we have then is we have what's called a transition. So between each video here, you can see that we have this small black line between each video. So you can see there, right the way through it. So each video in between, in the middle of them, has what's called a transition. And what a transition is, if you look at the preview window, so you'll see the preview window is probably above my head. I won't know till I'm actually video editing, but usually that's where I put it. So when we have the preview window there, you'll see that when it goes from one clip to the other, it's very snappy. It's one clip's there, the other clip's gone. So just watch the preview window now. So you'll see one clip's there and the other one's gone. You can hear there's quite a bit of noise down the background. We'll deal with the volume in the background now. So one clip's there and the next clip then is gone. So it's very jumpy. There's no kind of fluidity to it. There's no movement. Now what we're trying to create here is, if you're trying to create a fast-paced video, okay, so something an upbeat to get people excited and motivated, you can use that type of a cut, so when one video cuts into the next. But if you're trying to create something relaxing, which this video is supposed to be relaxing because it's a holiday video, you know, it's to get people in the mood, you want to try and create that kind of a theme. And we can do that by transitions. So we're going to go to transitions up at the very top here. So I'm going to click on the top. I'm going to just zoom in so you can see it. Okay, this is accessibility options that I'm using here to zoom in and out. That's nothing strange that we're doing, just in case anyone likes to do them kind of things. Transitions are here, and it gives us a load of transitions that we have. Okay, it gives us what, 20 or 25 of them, or 30 maybe of them there. So what I tend to tell people is the first 4 are fine. Okay, anything after that, they start getting gimmicky. And what I mean by gimmicky is there's spinning in and there's doorways and there's curtains opening. Okay, if you're going for that type of look in a movie, that's perfect. But I'm just trying to do something a wee bit, you know, dreamy kind of looking. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use the first one, and the way you react with the transitions is the exact same as the way you react with the video clips that we seen in the last section. You'd select it by clicking on it. You don't have to select a range or anything, and you just click it, drag it down and place it wherever you want. So I'm placing it in the middle here, and I'm going to zoom in so you can see it. I just placed it in the middle here, and you can see I used to call that, when I was teaching in classrooms, the dicky bow, I used to call it. So a dicky bow or a bow tie. I got a bit of laughing for calling it that one time. I don't think people call it a dicky bow across the world. Maybe it's only something that Irish people do. Okay, but that's what a dicky bow was, what we call it. So it's a bow tie that you would have on at a fancy wedding. Okay, so we have it here. Now I want to show you my preview window till you see the difference in it. So I'm going to click back here and I'm going to play it. I'm going to press the space bar on the keyboard. And when we play it, you'll see the difference now. So can you see how much more relaxing that is? I know there's noise in the background and stuff like that, but it creates a far smoother environment from one video clip to the next. So you can see one goes. Now we can change the speed that happens at. So the speed at the minute, it's probably 1.5 seconds or so. The way we do that, it's 1 second. If we want it to last longer, we can double click it and you can see that it's at 1 second. And if we wanted to put it to 2 seconds, ideally you don't want to put this too much, and put it to 2 seconds, and we click apply. And then what we'll do is, I'm going to zoom out. This all depends on the length of your video clips. If your video clips are 2 seconds long, you can't have a 2-second dissolve or a 2-second transition in the middle because there's not enough video each side of it to do it. But it'll come up with a warning and tell you. So I'm going to play this back now. So I'm going to press space on the keyboard, play it along. And you can see now it's that wee bit longer. So maybe that was too long. But you could play around with it and get it to whatever you want, okay? Once you can do it on one, you can do it on them all. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly drag them in. Now ideally you don't want to do it too gimmicky. I'm just going to throw a gimmicky one in just to show you what they look like. So I'll throw it in there. So if I'm going to play this video over, you'll see it in the preview window. So you can see some people might like it. I think it starts to get playful looking and maybe a bit childish looking, but maybe that's what you're going for. And there is definitely times when you might want to do it. So I'll throw a few more of them in just so you can see it. So you may get to a stage where you want to do them. As I say, this is just a tutorial to show you things. We're not making a blockbuster here. Okay, so you would continue and throw in your transitions right the way through it. As I say, you don't always need a transition to be in. Okay, you don't need a transition. Sometimes you might want to create a fast-paced thing that you don't need it. Okay, but other times you may want to put that transition in. So it's totally personal preference. Okay, that's transitions. They don't really get much more technical than that. In the full course, I do go into a bit more detail and obviously spend a lot more time showing you how to do different bits and pieces. But that's the simple way of it, okay? The next thing we want is video or audio, sorry. So each video has audio. I'm going to zoom in on our video clips down at the bottom, and you can see they have these waveforms right along the bottom. So each video has waveforms, and some of them are quite high noise, okay? So what we can do is, for this video, I don't want audio in them. So what I can do is I can just turn the audio down. I'm just clicking and dragging that audio, okay? Now you could select them all at once, okay? So the way you would select them all at once is you would just click and drag across them. So just like you would if anyone has used Microsoft Word or Apple Pages, I just click and drag across them there. And then what you do is turn down one of them, and it used to do it, maybe it doesn't now, turn them all down. So you can see it used to remove the music on them all. I'll have to check that, but it's not a big deal to turn them on. You can use the audio button, which is up at the top here. So if we select them, maybe if I select them that way, they might let me do it. If I click and drag across it and see. Okay, can I turn the volume up on the two of them at the same time? I can. Okay, so that would be the way to do it. Using the audio button, which is up at the top here, your volume button, you can turn the volume down on them all at the one time. It used to allow you to drag them all down, but they must have changed that. So this is the main reason why I do this tutorial. It gives me a chance to see the changes that they've made. Okay, so the next thing we want, that's audio. Now with the audio, what you can do is we're going to put background music to this video, so that's why I dropped the audio down. In the full course, I do go through more audio, like removing background noise. So a lot of them video clips there had background noise. I'll put a link down in the description so you can check that out. Okay, the next thing we want is we want to put a title on it. Okay, so our titles, iMovie is quite restricted when it comes to titles, and I say that they've quite a few there now, but they're still restricted. You have to use what they want here. There is ways round it of doing it, but straightforward ways here. So you can see these all show you, and I'm just hovering across these right the way across these titles, right the way across, and it shows you in the preview window what the title would look like. So we just need to find a title that we like. So this is maybe, we'll go for one of the ones that, a title here. There's a title and subtitle. So you can see here's a title and subtitle, and it's showing you what it's going to look like. Is this a wee bit flash? Yeah, no, they're all okay. So we'll put this one down. So with the title, it's the exact same as the movie clip. We click it, and we drag it down. Now we've two options to where we put this. I'm going to show you. Now I'm going to put it at the very start of the movie, but I'm going to show you two ways that you can do it. So you can click and you can drag and place it at the start of the movie. So you can see what it does is it shifts the other stuff over to the right hand side. So it just shifts it over that wee bit and lets you put it in here. So I'm going to put in the name of the village. So it's called Alvor. And I'm just going to put Portugal here. So it's Alvor, Portugal. So we can do things. This is just going to show a background here. In another video, we might get a chance to look at editing them backgrounds and all the things that we can do to it. But you can see, you can change we can put it bold, italic, we can change the color of the text, different things on it, okay? So when we play it through our video, I'm going to click at the start here. If you watch the preview window up here, we can click on play and you can see it comes through there. It's on for 4 seconds and then it starts into the movie. So there's no transition here at the start. We didn't put one in there because our title wasn't there. I'm just going to put a transition in there and just play it through again. So you can see it kind of fades in a wee bit. So that's fine. We have our title in there and you can put the title in and you can put backgrounds and stuff on. We will look at that in a different video. We're just trying to put get this as quick as possible up. The other way I mentioned that we can do is we can place the title above the video clip. So I'm just going to zoom back in and show you exactly what I'm doing. I don't want you to not be able to see because I do realize people are probably watching this on iPhones or Samsungs. Hopefully not Samsungs, but we'll not go there. So I'm clicking it and I'm dragging it up. So you can see what I'm doing here. I'm only joking about the Samsungs. We can click it and drag it up. Okay, so you can see here that what we're doing. It's back in there and we click it and we place it above the clip. So you can see it goes with a small connection clip. So what that means is that if I move it, it takes the title with it. You can see it's taking the title with it. So if I was to put it here, it would take the title and it moves it, okay? And so it's connected to this top clip. If I wanted to, I could pull it away and it'll go away from me, okay? Now, then we have it. I'm going to show you now. Once we play this clip now, I'm just going to place this at the end. I'm going to take the transition out of there because it's putting it off, okay? So once we play it now, watch the way the title runs. So you can see now it plays across your background. Remember what I said about the playhead, okay? I'm going to zoom in so you can see it here. So our playhead points down. So it plays in the preview window, which is up above my head. It plays whatever it can see beneath it. So it's looking down. It sees Alvor, Portugal. This is see-through, and then beneath it, it sees the video that's there. So it plays that track or it plays that title above it. So that's it's a more professional looking way of doing your movies. So you can see when we play it through, it's just that wee bit more professional. It looks like it should look, okay, as opposed to having that black background. Okay, we're getting there now. We don't want to spend too much time. As I said, I wanted to leave this as simple as possible. I know we went into a bit more detail than we should have. The next thing we want to do is we want to add some music to the background, okay? Because the video is pretty boring now, okay? So we want to click on audio. And once we click on audio, your iTunes music or your music will all be there right the way through it. We don't want to use that. I can't use it for this video, okay? There's sound effects there, okay? By all means, if you want to use your iTunes music, okay, that's in it, you can use it. Obviously, if you're going to put it up on YouTube or that, yeah, that's a grey area. But I can't for this video. Now, what I can do is right the way through it here, I can pick, there's different ones here. There's this will play in the background. So you could use one of these clips, okay, that go through it, okay. So these play. So there's a couple of ones there, and they get different ones. You can see there's different types of music there. Or we can import our own media. So if you have a song, I happen to have a song here, a copyright free one that I'm going to do. So this is the import button. I'm going to scroll in so you can see it. Okay, This is the import button. It's gone now because earlier on it gave us that import media button. Now that's gone. So we want to import that media. So I'm going to click on it. It gives us the same window. And here we have a MP3 audio. So it's just a song. It's 3.4 minutes long. That I downloaded. It's a copyright free one. Okay. So once you click it and put it in, it'll go in and you can see it here. It's up at the top here. So it just goes into the exact same area as your clips and your pictures that you put in. So once you're happy with it, I'm just going to show you. So down beneath your timeline, okay, or on your timeline, there I'm after hitting my Siri, okay. Down on your timeline, down at the very bottom, you can see when I zoom in, you can see here we have another small timeline. So just at the bottom of the actual timeline. And it has a small music note on it, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to take a bit of music, okay? So I'm going to click it and I'm going to drag it and I'm going to place it down at the bottom there. You can see it's trying to connect to it. You can, by all means, you can connect it to it. So you can leave it connected to it if you want, and that just means that if you move any video clips, it moves with it, or you can put it straight down at that bottom, so and it won't be connected then, but it's both the same. Now what we do is then at the end where we want the video to finish, the quickest way to do it is clicking on your video, a right click or a 2-finger click, and go to split clip, and you can see it splits that clip at the end, and then we click on the bit that we don't want and we press delete on the keyboard or backspace on the keyboard. So we put it in, split the clip, and we do it, okay? Now, with the audio, again, you have options with the audio. So when we click and drag down, you can see that it gives us the volume level. So we can lower or raise the volume level. I'm going to put mine at maybe 30% or so, 35%, perfect. Okay, so it's about 35%. I'm just going to play this to see what it sounds like. Okay, a wee bit low. I'll put it a wee bit higher. Okay, so we leave it at 50%. So it's playing 50. Now we've these two wee balls are at the start, so you can see here there's a small circle here. Okay, at the start, and with the circle, what we can do is we can drag that circle in, and what that does is it kind of ramps the audio in, so it makes the audio instead of just starting, it will go. I'll play it for you so you can see it. Okay, so it progressively gets that wee bit louder. Okay, now that's personal preference. You don't have to do that. Last thing we'll do, so we've only a minute's worth of video here, so it's not too big. Again, you could have more. So we have all these things put in. Now what we're going to do is, that's as hard as making a movie. Okay, and again I'm saying movie in quotes. That's as hard as making a simple movie is. So we've thrown the pictures in, we've put the timeline, the music at the bottom, we've put in a small title, we've done a transition. I don't want to go too deep in it. As I said, there is a full course there for anyone who does want to delve deeper into iMovie, where we do the likes of stabilization on videos, color correction, cropping, putting pictures in. I have a video I done not so long ago, making a slideshow. If you go to the channel and subscribe, you'll see that. In the course we deal with slow motion, how you would work slow motion, putting filters on things, doing green screen. So if I had green behind me here, I'm currently in the middle of doing up a studio here. That's why we have plywood here behind me and not a fancy background. So the all these things, and how to create projects and events, and all how to deal with your media. So we delve into more detail and not just the quick steps that we're after doing tonight. I do want to just get it as quick as possible because people do like the YouTube videos done it. So the last thing that we want to do is we want to export this video. So we've all our changes made. We're going to export the video, and over on the right hand side here we have this share button. Okay, so the share button's here on the right hand side. It's the small box with the arrow pointing out of it. We click it here. I'm just going to zoom out a wee bit so you can see it. Now it asks you, what do you want to share it to? Do you want to share it to email? I don't know why they have this here. I have never shared it to email. Videos are too big for email, number one. so I've never used the email. YouTube and Facebook, this gives presets for YouTube and Facebook. I don't use it, and the reason I don't use it is because I don't like not knowing what I'm putting up. I like to finish the video, watch it to make sure I'm happy with it, and then I can put it onto YouTube or put it onto Facebook if I want. Okay, but if you're happy enough, you can put it straight up to Facebook or YouTube. The current frame will just save a picture of that current frame the way it is, and then this export file is the one we are going to do. So what this does is it actually creates a movie file for you. So I'm going to click on export. I'm going to zoom out because it would show us here in the window. I'll leave that zoomed in a wee bit just in case for anyone that wants to see it. So you can see if I go across it here, I'm just scrubbing across, it gives a rough preview. So you can see now it's playing that music in the background, that it has that scrubbing. In your movie here, I'm just going to put my movie in. So I'm just going to call it holiday video. Okay. And then we can say, so this video is about my holidays. Okay. If you want, you can put the description in. You don't need to put that in, okay? So in Alvor or whatever it is. Obviously, if you're going to put this video up on YouTube or do anything and you want to include as much detail as possible in the description, because it helps then with SEO and algorithms and so on. If you want to include any tags on it, okay, tags mean you can search for it later on, so you can put your own tags in there. Okay, the format then is video and audio, or you can do audio only. We want to leave it at video and audio. Resolution, you can see here it's giving me 1080, 720 or 540. You can't upgrade resolution, okay, so you can't put 4K out if you're only putting 1080 in. You can downgrade, but you can't upgrade. So if you want to do a 4K video, you must have 4K footage, okay? All 4K footage. If you put anything in, then it's going to lessen it. And what you find is if you try and stitch in another video in the middle of it, you lose quality because it tries to do it, then it doesn't work. So you're better with everything at the same resolution. The quality then, you have options with quality, so low, medium, high, best, ProRes or custom. I tend to just leave it at high because high quality, it's 1080 footage. It's going to be perfect looking at on a TV or big screen. Only if you put it on a cinema screen would you notice any difference. Compression then, so you can go for better quality or faster. Again, preference. It all depends what you do. So you can see we can put it on better quality. It's just going to take that wee bit longer. I'm going to leave it at faster because of the video. I want to get it done quick. It's telling me the length of the video is 1 minute and 1 second, the duration of the video. And then it's showing me the estimated size. So the estimated size is about 156 megabytes. So it's not big. Okay. Obviously, again, if you have 4K footage or a longer video, you're going to have a bigger file size. So then we click on next. What it'll do is it'll start creating the video. It'll ask me where do I want to save it. I'll just put this to my desktop. It's not good practice to put things to your desktop in a Mac. It thinks it's a preview and it keeps it half open for you and it'll slow your Mac down. So if anyone saves stuff on their MacBook on your desktop, try and put it into a folder or something on your desktop. You can see now it's showing me. If I click on it, it'll show me what's going on. It's exporting it. It's halfway there. This isn't, as I say, it's a new MacBook, so it's doing it very quick. The older the MacBook or the better the footage, the longer that will take. So you can see it's telling you the share was successful. And once the share is successful, then what you need to do now is I'm going to close out of that wee button. I'm going to minimize my iMovie just till we get back to the screen. You can see here we have the holiday video that we've just created. If we double click it, it's going to open in iMovie or in QuickTime. It'll open it. That's my accessibility that I'm after putting on. Okay. If we play it, we just click on play, and you can see it'll play back right the way through it there, and it shows you the video after creating right the way through. Now you'll see the transitions. Now I used a different transition in between each video. If I was doing it for anyone, I wouldn't do that. Okay, I'd probably use different music. It's probably not great music to pick. But you pick your own movie there. These are video clips that I would use in the course for showing people. So with the likes of the seagulls there, I would use slow motion. to try and, you know, we'd slow the seagulls down so you can see them landing. And with this fish cooking, we would maybe zoom in on something. So you can see there's a load of different videos there. That one there we use stabilization for. That's how we do it. So these are all video clips that we just have for practice. So that's it. Okay, that's our quick step-by-step iMovie guide. Again, it's just about getting a movie made in as quick a time as possible. We're not trying to create a blockbuster here. We're just trying to learn the fundamentals of iMovie. Again, as I say, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel and put on the bell with the notifications so that any new videos that I put out, I try to get plenty of them out. It's hard to get as many out as possible, but I do try, and I am going to try to get as many tutorials out as I can, because people do like them. Again, there's a full course for iMovie there. I'll put a link in the description. So if you liked this video, you will definitely like the full course, because we go into a lot more detail, and there's loads of practice materials, and I'm on hand then in the full course that you can send me a message, you know, if you have any problems with the course, or if you're stuck on anything in iMovie, that you can send me a message, and I get the notifications come in on the phone for about a message and a question, and I can respond to the question then. And I usually respond to the questions within a couple of hours because they come in on the phone. Okay guys, so Colin here, computerclasses.ie, check it out, and applecourses.ie. The Apple Courses is more for the Apple stuff. Computer Classes was originally for the Windows stuff. So please check me out, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you again in one of the next lectures. Thanks guys.